Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Lock in Your Success Market and Trade Update for July 1st, 2012. If you get a chance, make sure you visit my trading blog at www.lockinyoursuccess.com if you haven't done so, and join our mailing list so you can get updates on some events that we may be coming up with. One of the more exciting things that we're coming out with is the M3 trading system is now in its final stages of completeness, and we will be launching that, the Options Tribe, on July 10th, I believe, which is the Tuesday after the 4th of July. And that should be pretty exciting. And then, of course, keep up to date because we're going to have a lot of other neat things coming out. And as you know, I've been working with SMB Training for a little while now, and they've been continually doing more and more stuff for market neutral traders. They had just launched last week the optionstribe.com, which is a subscription site where it's a bit of a community for those guys. You should go down and take a look at that, www.optionstribe.com, and there's a lot of great traders on there. Throughout the day they have a Skype group. They got lots of great information, so you should give that a try. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at the markets. As we were saying last week, we had a mini head and shoulders bottom. We broke out, we failed, and I was taking that as the market was going to be bearish. I think if you remember right when I was talking about things, we were saying the charts were telling us that the markets were bullish. So if we come over to the SPX, we were coming back down into this trend line again, which on the longer term is bullish. I was taking the contrarian point of view and saying I think that we're going to end up breaking this support line, this diagonal support line, and possibly coming down to the 1225 area. And if you take a look at the Dow, it's the same type of thing. We're near a support level. Obviously, with the good news, it started coming out on Thursday, which caused a nice little candle here. And then Friday, after we got the news, the market just broke up to the upside. So, what does this all mean? You know how we always take a look at the longer term charts. And the longer term charts, as I was saying, are bullish. We came down to the support area and we bounced. And that's pretty much the same on the SPX. As well as the Russell, and if you look at the NDX, the same type of thing, right? We come down a support level and we bounced. And as far as I'm concerned, it's still not too late to break this trend line to the downside, but let's look at the shorter term charts for a minute, because they can tell us a lot with a shorter term move, because realistically we've just been kind of a lot of chop here. So if you look at the NASDAQ, for example, on a 60-day, we have this huge gap that we ended up having on Friday, and the move continued up a little bit. We're doing nothing here except for coming into this longer term resistance area. So we'll have to see how the market reacts to this, and if we back off hard from this level, then we're probably going to stay sideways. And if we start penetrate this with any energy, then that's going to be more of an indication we're going to continue to rise. So I believe we're going to push a little bit higher, come into this area, and that's going to kind of tell us which direction we're going to go in. So right now, I don't take this as necessarily meaning anything, at least not on the NASDAQ. If we look at the shorter term charts on the Dow, we have the same thing. We had this very big gap. We're just pushing into this old high here. We're just going to see how that reacts. We break higher, and we're probably coming around 13.1. If we roll over here, we're probably coming back down to the lows. It would be very normal tomorrow to get a retracement of half of this candle here, if you look at it daily, which I can't do here on the 60-day chart. But if you look at it daily, for us to retrace half a daily candle would be normal. If we do that and bounce hard, then of course that's very bullish. If we take back all of yesterday's movement or Friday's movement or whatever, that would be very bearish. I believe we're going to get a partial retracement and, like I said, possibly bounce. We'll have to see where that retracement goes. And on the SPX, same thing. We're testing out these new highs here. We'll have to see how much we retrace and whether we bounce or not. The Russell is a different story. The Russell has easily overcome this high. with that very large move. This chart is just plain bullish. There's nothing I can say about that. This the Russell chart's bullish. So we have a bullish Russell chart. We have SPX, Dow, NASDAQ. That we'll have to see if they break the next resistance level or these previous highs. You could see the Russell all week. I was watching it all week in comparison to these other guys, and it was consistently up higher or down less all week than everything else. So it's been relatively strong, and it did break out here. The question becomes: does the Russell, drag the other indices up with it, or do the other indices drag the Russell down? So I have really no directional opinion right now. We're kind of on a wait and see type of thing to see what happens. All right, let's take a look at the positions. Here's our July M3 position as of close on Friday. I did not make an adjustment to this on Friday. I am negative theta. I am positive vega. It is time to do something with this. Friday for me wasn't the day. I had some orders in to take this 730 butterfly up to 750, and then I was going to add some vertical spreads in here. The volume was so low in the morning, late in the morning, that to get that done would have cost me too much money. And the great thing about this trade is it doesn't really matter so much if I sit over the weekend here with these Greeks. Nothing I have to jump on. If it worked out great, it didn't work out, that's fine. Probably could have done it later Friday afternoon for the prices that I wanted to. However, later Friday afternoon I was out goofing off, so I wasn't sitting in front of the market, and I wasn't going to sit in front of the market just to play around with this thing. So, we'll see what happens Monday. If we get a hard pullback, then we'll add some verticals in here. If the market continues up, we'll roll the butterflies. We'll wait for the pullback and then add some verticals in here. So this position is basically at break even. It was up as much as about $2,000, maybe $2,500, and the large move up kind of put us out. And realistically, if it just settles, if the market just settles, a lot of the value will come back in these 750s, and it'll be up a little bit more money. But like I said, I'm going to need to do something with this early in the week if the market either continues up or if it kind of hangs up here. But it's nothing that's terribly urgent, and we'll get to it when conditions favor us doing that. As far as the bearish butterfly trades, they both got adjustments. So let's take a look at those. Okay, here is the bearish butterfly for July. I think a lot of guys got out of this a little bit early this month. We were at, let's see, this is the position we were in right here. We were at 750. A lot of guys that were in this were, the market was back in this area here. They were up well past their 21 day to expiration exit profit targets. And if you're well above your 21 day to expiration profit target and your negative delta or have a high delta position, and you're going to close it in a couple days at a reduced profit target, why don't you just take it Wednesday, Thursday, instead of wait until Friday? That makes perfect sense. And if you don't want to take it, it certainly makes sense to do something in here. Use something from an M3, a vertical spread, a call this deep in the money or something like that to flatten your delta out in case you get a big move, you don't lose all your money. Just because if you're just going to sit there for another day or so before you take it out, anyway, you might as well pull the position off. I didn't do this because that's not in the guidelines. The guidelines say 21 days to expiration via using the option view numbers. And like I said, I could have easily pulled this Thursday or Friday for that. I chose to hold on to it, and we had the large market cap. So this is going to be fun now. Now we kind of get to play around with this and chase it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's about time, because I've been sitting here bored for the last 3 or 4 or 5 months. It's just been nothing going on, and this provides us with a little entertainment anyway. So what happened here is the market took off on us. We hit a delta theta ratio problem prior to our add point, which was 790. We had the add point at 790. Prior to that, we hit a delta theta ratio. It was clear that was off. So what I did was I decided to as per guidelines, take the 750 to 770, and then when we exceed 790, and I did this in one move, by the way, we exceeded 790, I went ahead and bought a 790, and this is what the position looks like now. It's a right around break even. If you look at our delta theta ratios, they are, I'm sorry, our delta theta ratio is fine, but our maximum delta of 50 on a position this size has been exceeded. Do I know if that's real or not? No. I made this adjustment in the morning, or maybe it was closer to noontime, and I did Skype it out on the options tribe. As I said, Friday afternoon I wasn't sitting watching the market, so I wasn't around. So I don't know what the delta theta ratio or the maximum delta were coming into the close. It may warrant making another adjustment here. We're just going to have to wait and see what the Greeks look like tomorrow morning when the market opens on Monday morning, and make a decision at that point if we want to take any action from there. So here's the position as it is. We are at break even, no big deal, and we get a pullback. Again, this T plus 0 line is kind of wacky, but even in the morning when the market was open, a pullback into here, I'd hit my reduced profit target, and I just pull the thing off to the downside. If we get an upside move, we're going to continue to chase this as per guidelines. And you'll notice how sensitive the position gets to price movement as we pull into expiration, especially under crushing volatility environment. So that should be interesting. It could be entertaining. All right, let's take a look at a August bearish butterfly. All right, here we go. We exceeded our 790 add point, and I just went ahead and added the 770 butterfly in. At the time I added in, again, it was late in the morning, I think, and the position delta theta ratio was fine. Right now it is off. Again, I don't know how accurate that is with the market closed, and I wasn't here on Friday afternoon, so we'll see what this looks like in the morning. We may end up rolling the 750 to 790, or who knows, maybe the market will take off and we'll be in a 770, 790, 810 or something, and that would be great. We'd actually get scaled in for a change. And okay, so that's our positions. They were all doing fine. This one, I guess, is the only one that's really down any money, and it's just barely down. So I'm happy with all the positions. As far as the market goes, I just think we're kind of in confusion. We're going to go into confusion mode and go sideways a little bit. But we do have that. We start breaking the highs of a couple weeks ago. Then that's going to be kind of bullish. We're going to push a little bit higher. And that's it for now. I'll keep you updated with any changes. Make sure you take a look at the Options Tribe. That's a really cool site. Thank you and good night. Have a great 4th of July, everyone.